project were remember and enjoyable. He hopes he can remember and that you will enjoy his speech. Tom has many opportunities to speak before small groups since joining Dr. Toastmasters and is grateful for his experience. Tom is a husband, father, and grandfather, among other things. Today you'll learn one more thing about him. Please help me welcome Tom Pate. What's in a name?
Vet, Stain, Booger, Beater, Beast, Half-Breed, Silver, Swift Wind, POS, Wagon 31. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, have you figured out what all these words have in common? I'm sure that Judy with Roxy and Jennifer with Jerry have figured it out. Some of them were very easy. The Vet is a Corvette. The Stain is a Mustang. Silver, you might have guessed, is a silver vehicle. But I tell you what, it is also a Silverado. And if you pop off these three letters off of the back of it, it says silver right on the side of it. So when you get in it, you can say, "Hi-yo, silver, away!" So, I tell you what, if you meant to caught Booger, obviously that was green, and yes, it was ugly. I wish that Winder was here, because I don't know if we caught Half-Breed, because yes, my wife drives a Half-Breed, a Prius. I know in my heart that Toyota wanted to name the Prius the Half-Breed, but Cher and the Cherokee Nation wouldn't let them do it. So those of you that are too young, go home and Google Cher and the Cherokee Nation. So about 15 years ago, I needed a vehicle, and I told my wife I didn't want to drive a car like everybody else. And I don't think of myself as that person who drives down the road going, "Hey, look at me, look at what I'm driving." If I was going to do that, I think that I would drive a Lexus or a BMW or a Mercedes. I drove to Tucson that day. When she asked me, "Do you want to take the trailer?" I told her, "No, I don't need a car that I can work on every day. I already have one of those. I need a car I can drive every day." So that day from Tucson, I drove home in a 1956 Chevrolet Handyman station wagon. It was red, had a white top, it had white wall wheels with steel hubcaps, and chrome. Lots and lots of chrome. I love chrome. It's probably my favorite color. It takes a lot of work to drive a car that is 50 years old, day in and day out. I did end up putting a new motor in it and a new transmission, and to me it just made it a better car because it had more power and it could move faster. I drove this car for about 12 years, and it had close to 100,000 miles that I had put on it. That is a lot of work. And finally, one day, I guess I got tired of that work and I sold it, and it was still a sad day at my house when I let that car go. I still look for it, and it used to be in the neighborhood, and I could see it, and it always brought joy to me to see it. That other vehicle that you might have caught, that I said I could work on every day, in 1982, I bought a 1931 Plymouth 3-window coupe. I'll pass it around for you to look at the picture. 32 years ago, I bought this car. I know people that can't even be married for 32 years. And I've had the same commitment with a car for 32 years. I have turned every nut and bolt on this car numerous times. Driving a car that is 50 years old takes a lot of work. It's an enormous amount of work to drive a bodacious 31 Plymouth. And I also have some pictures that, this is a little bit bigger. This has both my loving wagon and my 31 in it, as it does have a couple others. And as you see, too many cars. The most cars that I've owned at one time is 7, and I love old cars. I don't drive an old car right now, except for my 31. I was going to drive it today, but you know what's more important than going in an old car? And that's blowing in an old car. Because if the brakes don't work, better not drive it. I started it last week, I thought, hey, I'll drive this car here, and I thought everything's working, I got in it, and I pushed the pedal down, it went right to the floor. Now most of you, when you go to buy a car, all you're thinking about is make, model, trim package, and color. But when you have a 31 that you build from that picture that's going around, you have to think about everything, where everything goes, what order it goes in, because you don't want to put something in that you're going to have to take out later to put it back in because something else has to go behind it. The only person in here that doesn't think about those things or thinks about one other thing is Tudor, because he thinks about how long his extension cord is. How long we've been needing. But I was going to wear something that was appropriate for the old cars. I know that you can't see this from where you're at, but if I turn around, I'll leave you with this. Life is short. Drive a hot rod.